Alright, hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I have a new video for you today, and I wanted to apologize for sort of the low effort voiceover video today, but I've actually put in a lot of effort. It just doesn't really look like it because it's a voiceover, but I promise to get back to doing more face-to-face videos. They just require a lot more on my end of preparation, so this sort of video worked really well with my schedule for this past week, so this is what you get today. But I think it is a very interesting and informative video, so I created a chart which I will provide in the description of the video so you can look at it. But I created this chart comparing different raw companies because there are a lot, and I think I chose 9 different ones that I know people have chosen to feed their ferrets before and that currently do as well. So what these companies all have in common are they all provide cat options instead of just dog products, and they provide frozen raw grinds. And I'm going to be comparing each of the chicken varieties in every brand because they almost always have a chicken option. That's the most popular protein, so most companies do that if they're smart. And the reason why I do cat is because a lot of the dog ones will contain veggies and other mostly veggies that cats cannot digest, so that is why we are sticking to the cats. So I had a lot of fun building this chart. I learned a lot about what I feed currently, what I should be feeding, etc. I'll talk more about that. So each product I want to follow the ratio of 70 10 10 5 5. Now you've heard me talk about 80 10 10, so you're probably like, what the heck? It's the same thing, it's just a more broken down version. So instead of 80% meat, 10% bone, 10% organ, this sort of breaks it down and makes it easier to understand for new raw feeders. So this is what I'm going to be referencing from now on instead of the 80 10 10. So we want 70% meat, 10% bone, 10% heart, 5% liver, 5% other secreting organs. So liver is also a secreting organ, but you're going to want a second one in the food in order for it to be considered truly balanced. And here, this is what is included in a balanced diet for ferrets and cats. If any part is missing, the product is not considered balanced. While your pet can do okay on just liver, they need another secreting organ for maximum health and balance. And you'll see here products colored in pink are balanced and products colored in green are godsend. Now again, I am not a pet nutritionist. I do not claim to be, and I am also not sponsored by any of the products and companies listed in this video. This is all my own opinion, and I have also not personally ordered many of these products before. I have ordered some of them and I have experience with some of these companies, but I do not have any personal experiences. I don't know what if my ferrets like it, etc. So just thought I'd put that out there. I'm just gonna go through, show you what I like, what I don't like. We've got the name, variety that they provide, so different grind options. I find that this is important to add because for someone like me, I have ferrets with sensitivities. So Momo, for example, cannot eat anything with hooves, so no beef, no venison, no pork, nothing like that she cannot have. And then also I suspect that Appa has some sort of chicken allergy. I don't know if it's just chicken and maybe turkey, but chicken seems to really set off his itchies, so I've been trying to avoid chicken products with my crew. And then we got ingredients, pros and cons of each product. Pretty easy, straightforward, and we are going to start with one of the biggest brands in raw feeding. A lot of people feed this for their ferrets, their cats, their dogs, and specifically the holistic ferret group that I'm a part of, a lot of people feed Stella and Chewy's. I have not personally fed this brand before, but we are looking at the chicken frozen dinner morsels. They have many different options, from freeze-dried raw to these sort of, this is what it comes in, these like little morsel type things, which is interesting. And so the variety that they have chicken, duck, rabbit, and turkey. I feed duck, rabbit, and turkey very regularly, so this would be something that I could feed my crew. So for the ingredients here, we'll scroll down. And also it says here they use cage-free chicken, they're pea-free, lentil-free, potato-free. That's great. Taurine added is not something that I really like, rather than using natural taurine by putting actual hearts in the food, but we'll talk more about that later. They add vitamins and minerals, which isn't really needed in my opinion. We'll talk more about that later. 100% complete and balanced. We'll also talk about this. No added hormones, no grains, no gluten. This is all good here. And so this is the ingredient list. Now, you'll notice it is a very long list for a raw product, and half of these, more than half of these, I could not tell you what it means. I couldn't tell you what a lot of these ingredients mean, and that is a big no-no for me. I personally like to know all of the ingredients in my food, and you'll see with other products they have much simpler ingredient lists. You really do not need to add all of this stuff in a food, but that is what they have unfortunately chosen to do. Now the pros here is you've got chicken, chicken liver, gizzard, and that's pretty much it. So after that, it's a lot of probiotics, sort of vitamins, supplements type ingredients, and like pumpkin seed and dandelion. That's not, you know, usually something that I like to see in my cat's food, or cat ferret food, same thing. And then they also do not have natural taurine. So you'll see here, if you see it says just taurine, which is what you get from hearts mainly, that means that they have added it separately, so usually in like a powder form and whatnot. So it's not the natural source, which is again like a heart. I don't know why they didn't just choose to add chicken heart in the ingredients up here. I'm not sure why, but if they were to have done that, I would like this product a lot more. Of course, I don't think that this would hurt your ferret. It's just not, it's not the best. And again, the ingredient list is so long. It goes on to the second page here of all of these ingredients for one product. And you'll notice here, they do not have, you'll see I put no other secreting organ. I mean no second secreting organ other than liver. So they do not have, for example, kidney or brain, another secreting organ that isn't just liver. And the reason why many companies will just put liver in is because, again, it will not hurt your animal. It's just not completely balanced, and it's not the best. Liver is a very, very cheap organ to purchase, so that's why they use that. And they don't technically need to have another secreting organ, so they just try to get by with that. But they claim that they are 100% complete and balanced dinner, and this is simply just not true. There are no other organs in here that a ferret and a cat need. So again, like kidney, brain, you'll see in other grinds that are balanced, that are actually balanced, they contain those things. I personally would not feed this food for that reason. It is not balanced, and it contains a lot of ingredients that I do not understand. So I'm not going to feed this. And I'm not going to be talking too much about prices, because a lot of these products will not tell you the price up front. You have to like find the store location, consider shipping in it, and it's just like a whole mess. Yeah, so we are going to move on to our next product here. So you'll notice that this is highlighted in green, which means it is a godsend product. This is a perfect product. There are no flaws in this product. So this is mypetcarnivore.com. And I recently switched my supplier to be My Pet Carnivore, so I'm excited to be getting my first order in from them soon. So the really, really cool thing about this website is they supply whole grinds. So the best option for ferrets and cats would be to feed whole prey, but of course not everyone wants to feed like a whole rabbit carcass and whatnot, and they don't have the space for that, and I totally understand that. I'm in the same the same boat. So the next best thing, in my opinion, is to do a ground option, which is just the whole animal, which is just absolutely crazy to me. I was so happy when I found this website. I'm pretty disappointed in myself that I didn't search around first more before starting to buy some grinds, because I would have definitely went with this source. They have a bunch of different varieties too, which I really like. They have beaver, beef, chicken, duck, fish, goat, goose, lamb, mutton, pork, rabbit, turkey. So what I will be ordering for my crew is the beaver, which is awesome. This is the first website that I have seen that has provided a non-hooved prey animal that is beyond, you know, turkey, rabbit, chicken, duck. So that's pretty great in my opinion, and I'm excited to be trying this. And I'm doing the turkey, rabbit, and duck, so it's pretty exciting. I've heard that sometimes their rabbit goes out of stock certain times of the year, so when that happens I'll have to just switch to like goose, something like that. But so the cool thing is here, you'll notice these are the ingredients. This is it. Whole chicken head, feet, and giblets. So this just contains everything. They just took the whole chicken, put it in the grinder, and there you go. So rather than, if you want to compare above, all of these ingredients are completely unnecessary. Well, aside from the first couple, they're completely unnecessary, not needed. It's just like, it's crazy to me. This looks like more work than just taking the whole animal and grinding it up. But yeah, so it contains the entire animal. That's my main criteria, is it must contain the entire animal to be completely 100% super health food, in my opinion. And they have coarse grind options, which are great because the finer ground options, sometimes the bone is just not big enough to clean your pet's teeth. So the coarser ones are usually big enough to clean teeth, and you can still add some like neck during the week to just make sure that your pet's getting enough teeth cleaning done. But they have a lot of variety. I love this product so far. All right, moving on, we have Hair Today, which, as you know, was my main supplier for a very long time, coming up almost a year now, and we're going to be looking at their ground chicken bones and organs. So the nice thing about Hair Today is they have a lot of protein options. Now, only some of these have grinds, and then technically only the rabbit is completely balanced. We'll talk more about that in a second. We're talking about the chicken one now. So here we're going to look at the ingredients. They've got chicken quarter, boneless breast, chicken neck, heart, gizzards, and liver. So you'll notice what's missing here is the second secreting organ. Now, unfortunately, most of the Hair Today grinds are not balanced, and this is not something that I realized for the longest time. I mean, I haven't been feeding grinds for very long. I have been doing the Frankenprey style model, so I've been just feeding my own second secreting organ. The only thing that they need to add is just that second organ, and you'll notice that's a theme with a lot of these brands. It's unfortunate because I really do. I love this company. I'm very thankful that they added my YouTube link to their website. I think that was super, super cool. Now, I do love this website for purchasing Frankenprey items, separate pieces of the animal that you can buy to make a full menu balance throughout the week. So moving on, we are going to be talking about Darwins. So this is something I have purchased many times. They have an amazing sample product where you can buy, I forgot how many pounds, like 10 pounds, I don't even remember how many pounds of meat for only $14 free shipping. They have very, very limited variety. They only have chicken, turkey, and lamb for cats, and this is pretty sad because if your cat or ferret has allergies, you know, they don't really have much that they can provide for you. My ferrets did not like the lamb. It was very, I don't know. This one, they just said they had a hard time digesting and they didn't like it, but they do really like the turkey and the chicken. So I'll say that they like these two, and I still have a bunch of turkey ones laying around, so I feed that during the week sometimes. But anyways, these are the ingredients here. Let me see. Right here. So they have a lot of ingredients here. They add in some sort of marine oils, which is interesting. I don't necessarily have a problem with that, but it's only 0.5%. They have tomato pomace, sea salt, which I don't understand why they need to have that in this product. They also have added taurine, I guess, as well as chicken hearts, I think. I might be reading that wrong, but the main ingredients are the meat, necks, gizzard, liver, and hearts, which is good. However, you'll also notice in this product they don't have a second secreting organ as well. Same with the other grinds that are not balanced. So this is not a balanced product either. They do have a lot of recalls, but again, most raw companies do. It just comes with the territory. There's going to be bacteria in the food regardless. I just thought I'd mention that because a lot of comments on the Darwins Facebook page. It's like, oh, you have this recall, you know, yada, 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 but they don't really understand how raw companies work. The FDA and whatnot are always up their backs because, I mean, it's a raw product. Of course, there's going to be bacteria in it. It's mainly, you know, if it's got salmonella in it, it might affect you, if anything. It's not going to affect your animal necessarily. Large list of ingredients. I still, you know, I like this product. My ferrets like it, but I will not be continuing to purchase from them. So next product, we have something different, and it is Raw Feeding Miami's chicken grinds. So Raw Feeding Miami has a lot of different options as far as grinds go. They have beef and green tripe, beef, chicken, and green tripe, just chicken, duck, lamb, pork, rabbit, turkey. So there's a bunch of options here for your ferrets and cats. And the chicken one here has a chicken, bone, heart, liver, and kidneys. So this is the first one that contains the second secreting organ aside from the My Pet Carnivore grinds. So this is great. All ingredients are good here. Simple ingredient list. Again, as you can see, it only requires 5 ingredients. It doesn't, you know, require a whole lot here. It's balanced. You've got a lot of variety again. The only con is it's not the entire animal. And I know that's kind of like lame. Why would I even add that? I mean, it's a great product, but it's not perfect. A perfect product to me is the entire animal because, you know, in the wild, they would eat the entire animal, leave nothing behind aside from certain parts of certain innards they would leave behind. But yeah, so that's all I really have to say about Raw Feeding Miami. Do not have any experience with this brand. Next one, we have Primal. I know a lot of people who feed Primal. They have a couple different varieties here. They have sardine, which is interesting, beef, chicken, lamb, pork, turkey. So pretty good list here. They don't have duck though. Duck is always one of my favorites to feed because the ferrets always go crazy for it. The ingredients here is just chicken neck, gizzards, liver. Pretty simple ingredient list. They're all good. However, they do not contain heart or other secreting organ. So you don't see heart on this list here. Since it doesn't say supplements or anything else added to it, it does say 11% organ meat, so I'm assuming that's just the liver. The taurine is very essential. You need taurine for a cat to survive. Dogs also need taurine, and so do ferrets. We will be talking about Primitive Choice. I just learned about this company. I've never heard about this before. They have a couple different varieties. They've got beef, duck and lamb, chicken, pork, turkey, wild game, whole prey, rabbit. So they do have one whole prey grind, so that's good. But the duck has duck and lamb, so if I were to feed this for my crew, I wouldn't be able to do duck. I would have to do chicken, turkey, this is venison in it, and rabbit. And if I'm staying away from chicken, I would have to do turkey and rabbit, so not a whole lot of options for someone with a ferret that has sensitivities. But the ingredients in the chicken has, it's got chicken breast, thigh, gizzards, heart, feet, liver, and kidney. So these are all great ingredients. It's a balanced product, lots of variety. So there are a couple things that I wanted to note about this, not all necessarily bad. It's pretty expensive compared to other companies. So you'll see here for 5 pounds, it's $23.40. Now, if you go to My Pet Carnivore for 5 pounds, it's only $14.12. So just keep that in mind. Pretty expensive, but, you know, for not being a whole prey grind, I would obviously go with the My Pet Carnivore if it's the entire animal rather than just certain parts mixed together to be this price. That's pretty crazy. But anyway, it says here this grind is 82,855. So this is a totally different numbers than what I have thrown around earlier. Instead of the normal 70, 10, 10, 5, 5 or 8, 10, 10. So it provides 82% meat, 8% bone, 5% liver and heart ? I don't even know, and 5% other organ, which can be confusing for new raw feeders. They do this because it allows those pets who need slightly lesser bone percentage to still enjoy this grind while also easily allowing more bone items to be added for those pets who need more bone. So this is kind of... I don't really like this because most animals, and this is why I put more bone must be added for normal pets being just your average young and adult pet that doesn't have health problems. The only reason why that I can think of that a pet would need lesser bone would be that they're prone to constipation. Because when you have a lot of bone in a product, which is usually more than, you know, what is needed, of course, to make that happen, it will give your pet constipation and very chalky white stools. So this, if I were to feed this on its own, my pets would have very loose sort of diarrhea type stools. So it's kind of confusing for new raw feeders because then they have to figure out how much they need to add of like a bone grind, you know, and you can't just add bone to the meal. I mean, the closest you could do would be either bone meal powder. You know, if you do too much, you're gonna, you know, give your pet constipation, or ground chicken feet or just chicken feet. That's a good way to add bone in the diet, but if you do too much, it can be bad and you have to like mix it up. It's a mess. So I don't understand why they don't just follow the normal percentages to make it easy for people. And then for people who need less bone, have them add, let's say, like just ground turkey or ground chicken, you know, let them add that, because most of the time the pet will just need the normal amount of bone. I hope that makes sense. It's just like a lot of work for no reason. They should have just reversed it. But now next we have Answers. So this is a pretty popular company in the dog community. I don't know many that feed it for cats, but since it is a popular brand, I thought I would talk about it. So they have, it's kind of confusing. It's called the detailed formula, what they have for cats and dogs. So it's got beef, chicken, pork, and turkey varieties. They say each one has meat, organs, ground bone, eggs, goat's milk whey, cod liver, etc. It also has sea salt, like the Darwins meal does, carrot fiber for some reason. It's confusing because this ingredient list is pretty vague to me. It doesn't tell you what organs they add, which, you know, I can't say then if it's balanced or not, because it doesn't say specifically what organs they have. And it also doesn't mention anything about heart, so I don't know if they're grouping that in with an organ, even though in raw feeding terms, a heart should be separate from organ. It's not considered an organ while feeding it. It's considered a muscle meat, which I put here. So again, doesn't specify the organs, which is a little concerning to me. And it also has goat's milk. A cat and a ferret, they do not need goat's milk. They do not need any sort of milk in their diet, aside from, you know, when they're babies and they have milk from their mothers. That's the only time that they should be having milk. And carrot fiber, I don't really understand what that is or why that is needed. I am running out of breath. The last brand that we have here is the Vital Essentials, and I know people do feed this to their ferrets and of course their cats. This is the chicken version, again, same as the others. So they have a couple different varieties: chicken, duck, rabbit, turkey. Pretty good list. So the chicken one contains, let's see here, chicken liver, heart, goat's milk, water, herring oil, chicken egg, eggshell membrane, and a vitamin E source. So this is pretty good. The only thing, obviously, goat's milk. This is not needed in a product for a cat or a ferret. Something interesting here, eggshell membrane. Eggshell membrane is a pretty good product, and I rarely see that in brands, and I rarely see egg added to brands either. So I personally like to add an egg myself separate times during the week, but this has it added in, so keep that in mind if you feed this food and then you also want to add egg in the diet, because they also do not have other secreting, a second secreting organ, therefore it is not a balanced product. But it does have a shorter ingredient list with not much extra added. It has a little bit extra added here, but not much compared to other companies, so it's not awful. That was the last product on my list of raw companies here, and I hope you enjoyed it. I wanted to make this because because of my realization that many raw food companies do not actually have a balanced product. There is no second organ in there, which cats and ferrets need, and I think also dogs need the extra organ in there in order for it to be considered balanced, in order for it to give them the maximum health benefits. I wanted to make this to help new raw feeders out there. Now, the cool thing about grinds is it's sort of like the lazy version of raw feeding. It's already made for you. You just have to thaw it and feed, which in my opinion is awesome for people who are busy, who work 9-to-5s, who just cannot find the time to cut, portion, section, make sure everything is balanced, make sure the ferrets are not stashing, that they're eating all their organs. This sort of cuts back on all of those things, and it's been a hell of a lot easier for someone like me who is super busy and very concerned if my ferrets are eating what they're supposed to be eating. This is just a superb option for those who are interested in raw feeding but are afraid of doing it wrong. And I hope that you will look into feeding a raw diet for your ferret or your cat, and let me know how it goes in the comment section below. If you have any other questions, feel free to leave that as well, and I hope you guys have a great day. Thanks.